Good afternoon, tenfold fam. I'm Gabelo. Could you please help me with these questions, please? Thank you.
It says a cone with radius r centimeters, so I have that there, and height AB is inscribed in a sphere. Now, I've got two shapes now here that are important, a cone and a sphere with center O, and also it has a radius of 8 centimeters. And then OB is equals to x. So if OB is x, it means that AB will be equals to 8 plus x. So this is just some information that you can think about when you are busy writing down whatsoever that you want to write down. Also, I know that if this AB is the height, it means that this is perpendicular to that particular thing. So that's what would make it a height. So I can use the theorem of Pythagoras in either of the two triangles that I have there. The smaller one, which is O something there and B, or A something there and B. So that's what we can look at there. Now, the first question says, calculate the volume of the sphere. Now, if there's one thing for sure about it, this is called application of Euclidean geometry, calculus, by the way. What you need here is not to cram the questions, but to know how to use the questions. Because the questions that we give you and the formulas that we give you in order for you to solve those questions are always there. So the only thing that you need to do is to know how to apply the formulas in order to solve the questions that we gave you. So that's one thing that you really need to know here. Volume formula is there. If it's a sphere, you know it's the normal formula of a sphere. If it's a hemisphere, then you have it. So those are the little things that you need to be thinking about when you're solving questions that have to do with measurement under application of calculus. Now, this one, calculate the volume of a sphere. So volume of a sphere, we just missed an H there. As I say, it's a sphere. So it's V is equals to 4 over 3 pi r cubed, right? Because it's a sphere. Therefore, this will be equals to 4 over 3 pi multiplied by our r, as we were told. They said it's the radius. So we're told that the sphere has a radius of 8 cubed, and this will then be equals to, if I press my calculator there, it will be 4 divided by 3 open bracket pi. Please don't ever use the 3,14. You use it as pi because the calculator has it, so don't take it as 3,14, please. This will be 2144,66. So this is 2144,66 centimeter cubed. It is already given to us as centimeters, so it will then be centimeter cubed. Now, the second question says, show that r squared is equals to 64 minus x squared. So what I'm trying to do is solve for this r squared. But what I now know is, if I focus mainly on this triangle here, focus mainly on this triangle, I know there's a 90-degree angle there. Therefore, I can use the theorem of Pythagoras. Also, I know that this line here is supposed to be 8 centimeters because it is also the radii of the circle. Therefore, I will then say 8 squared is equals to x squared plus r squared. And this will be Pythag, right? So this will be Pythag. Therefore, to make r the subject of the formula, I will say r squared is equals to 8 squared is 64 minus the x squared, because I'm going to add the additive inverse of that both sides. So that's what I was supposed to do with that. And then the last question now for this particular question from Kabelo will then say, determine the ratio between the largest volume. Now, I need to underline some important things here. Largest volume of this cone, number one. Number two, they mentioned the issue of ratio. and the last part is the volume of the sphere. So I want the ratio between the largest volume. Now guys, when we're looking at this question, as soon as you see the word maximum, minimum, largest, smallest, it means we are maximizing this particular problem. So this is maximization calculus, where you need to find the derivative, equate to 0, and try and solve some magic there. But the main thing here is derivative, after derivative, equate to 0, and then solve. So that's what we then need to do in order to solve this question that we have here. So firstly, I need to find what the volume of a cone, of this cone is, maximize it, and then find the ratio in comparison to the volume of the sphere, which we found in the previous question. So let's have a look at what I'm saying. Now this will then be the volume of the cone, so I will say VC there, is given by 1 over 3 pi r squared h. So it's the same as what I have there, I just wrote it in a different way. And this will be equals to 1 over 3 pi multiplied by r squared. We just indicated it to be 64 minus x squared. And then multiplied by the h. The h was, remember h is AB. So AB is 8 plus x. Because AB is this part plus that part there. And then this will then be equals to 1 over 3 pi multiplied by 64. So I'll just write it 64 here into that minus. Now this will then be, if I subtract these two, not subtract, multiply, it will be x squared over 3 pi. And then I multiply this with the 8 plus x. Then lastly, this will be 8 multiplied by that, which will then give me 8 multiplied by 64 divided by 3 pi. Then 8 also multiplied by that will be minus 8, let's say 8 pi divided by 3 x squared. And then what I will then do is multiply the x also, so it will be plus 64 over 3 pi x. And then lastly, which I'll write quickly here, will be pi over 3. So let me just write it down here. So that will be, and I'll try to move on the side so that we don't squeeze everything the way I'm trying to. So this will be, lastly, it's that multiplied by that. So it's going to be pi over 3 x cubed. So that's what I have then. Then lastly, let me just try and move here so we can see. Now remember I said it will be the derivative of this, right? Because we are talking about the largest. So the derivative makes this to be 0 because it's a constant. And that will be negative 16 divided by 3. So negative 16 pi divided by 3x. And this one here will be plus. So this has my x as well. So this has x there. So it means it will be 64 over 3 pi. And then lastly, it will be minus. That multiplied by that will be pi r squared. Now, as you can see, what I can quickly do here is divide everything by pi to get rid of the pi so that it can be easier for me to solve it, right? So it will be v of the c must be equal to 0, right? Then I multiply by 3 and I divide by pi to get rid of the pi. So this will be minus 16x plus 64, not pi, just 64, because we said we're dividing by pi. And then lastly, it will be minus 3 x squared. Look at me using r here. This is supposed to be x. And this is equals to 0. So it means it will be 3x squared plus 16x minus 64 is equals to 0. And then lastly, I need to factorize this. To factorize this, I will just use a calculator quickly and say this is supposed to be 16 squared minus 4 into 3 into minus 64. and this is going to give me 32. So I will then have x is equals to 16 minus 16 plus 32 divided by 6, or it will be x is equals to negative 16 minus 32 over 6. Now, what I just did here, guys, is I found what the x value is to maximize this volume, right? So what I will then need to do is to complete this question, to substitute this value that I have here into the formula of the volume and then find the ratio. So let's quickly do that and then see what exactly we'll be left with. So remember, my volume was that. So I will look at it from this perspective. So I said to you it will be that minus 16 equal to divided by 6, which is equals to 8 over 3, right? So if this is 8 over 3, it means I will then do the following to complete this. It will be 1 over 3 multiplied by pi, close bracket, into 64 minus my x there we said was 8 over 3 all squared, and then into 8 plus 8 over 3, and then close bracket equaled, right? So that's the ratio, and then I say divide this by, remember the ratio was 2144,66, which is equals to, so the ratio is roughly 1 is to, or rather 19, that is to 1, so it will be 19,5 is to 1. So that will be the ratio that we needed to do. So I'm sorry that we had to rush it at the end, but the idea here is to maximize the volume. After maximizing the volume, compare it to the other volume that we have, which was 2144,66, and then find what the ratio is.